Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to A New Dawn, the special feature, of course, and we have progressed rather significantly because I want to show you more of the late-game content that you can expect to see in A New Dawn, and as a result, we have a relatively good army, although it is small. Do bear that in mind, we have a small army. It is not going to be overpowered, I don't believe. We are just about to test it out against some zealous Crusaders, which is a new faction, or at least a new enemy that we have not fought before in any other mod as far as I am aware, and we will see how our units do. Now, first off, before we head on, I just want you to know that there is an incredible, an absolutely amazing array of different units that you can access through the upgrade tree. Now, as you can see, I was looking at the Serenade Sultanate just a few moments ago just to see what was going on there, and I've actually looked through all of these apart from the Mercenaries, Outlaws, Sword Sisters, and Freelancers, but as you can see here, they even have upgrade trees for the Mercenaries. That is just so incredibly cool. And then, of course, you have Outlaws, you have the Sword Sisters here, they only go into one path. And then we have Freelancers, which obviously don't go too far. However, now, this is where we get into the meat of it. Oh yes, look at that. Such a large troop tree. We only have one champion, believe it or not, because these guys, if I click on them, as you can see, yeah, 140 HP. 140 HP, level 50, 85 strength. Are you serious? Yes, 85 strength, 575 one-handed weapon proficiency. And then, of course, you have to look at this Jalkalan advanced plate armor, heavy plate boots, heavy steel pavis, and, of course, a Volucan master-crafted espada. I have no clue how any person, or at least any vassal, is going to be able to take out this guy. He is just too well armored. So much. Really, really good. Now, we only have one of those, so it's not going to be overpowered. However, we do have this guy, which... oh, never mind. He is actually quite overpowered as well, but he does only have a side sword. His armor is not as good, but it is quite impressive still. And as you can see, his one-handed weapon proficiency, strength, HP is all lower than what we have there. Now, we also have 5 of each in terms of the Arbalestiers and the Snipers. Now, these guys are balanced in a very, very nice way, I do believe. These guys, as you can see, the Arbalest they have, amazing damage and accuracy, but the speed rating is suffering greatly as a result of their power. And then, if we head over to the Sniper, as you can see, they have this new item that we have not seen before. It is a Jalkalan Sniper Arbalest, 255 piercing damage, but with a speed rating of 6. So, yes, that is definitely going to be quite amusing to see. We only have 5 of these, and 800 crossbow proficiency. Yeah, rather impressive, is it not? So we have a couple of those Rodok units, and then if we head over to Kingdom of Swadia, yes, it gets even crazier. We have even more units to choose from here. And I have 1 Twilight Knight. This is the highest tier of cavalry that you can get. With the Swadians, as far as I'm aware, they use Twilight Chargers, which I do believe is probably going to be one of the best horses in the game. And then we have Twilight Armor all over the place here, which are obviously very good pieces of equipment. So, yes, apart from that, then we also have some Royal Knights. I didn't go for the Lancers because I thought, well, the Lancers don't have Morning Stars, or do they? Well, they have a lance, of course, and they have a sword. So, yeah, I really wanted them just to use the mace because that is so much better in sieges. And you never know, we might actually participate in a siege at some point. That's going to be rather hard, though, I have to admit. Very hard indeed. And it's going to be rather difficult to penetrate their defenses, I have to admit. But we do then have some Nord units to hopefully help us with that. So we have 1 of these, or 5 of these. I think we only have 1 of these. And as you can see, 82 strength. Oh my goodness. Yes, these guys, as you could probably tell, because they are wearing such heavy armor, are going to be moving very slowly. So that was why I decided to get some, well, Swadian cavalry. I'm hoping that I have enough. And now they use this weapon. It is a wicked scythe. That is going to absolutely cleave everyone in sight. They have Bloodlord armor, as well as some Twilight gear as well. 137 HP right there. And then we have some Axe Masters. They are wearing some pretty decent stuff. Two-handed once again. It appears that the Nord units do like to use a lot of two-handed weaponry, of course. So, yeah, do bear that in mind if you are going to be playing with the Nords. And then we have this fellow here, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce, of course. But, yes, he has a wide assortment of different helmets, shields, and he has some throwing axes as well, if he so desires to use them. Not bad at all, I have to admit. Now, of course, I was tempted to go for the Crazed Berserker, as you can see here, because look at it! Look at this guy! 10 Power Strike, 10 Iron Flesh, 9 Athletics, 200 HP for a level 33 is insane, and I was actually really tempted about that. But I will let you guys explore that if you want to play this as well alongside me, and I will let you guys explore some of these other very unique units, such as the Destroyer. We do not have this, of course. I was thinking to myself, do we need any throwing weapons users if we have the snipers and arbalestiers from our Rodok companions right there? So, yeah, that is fine. And then I was a little tired from having to level all those guys up, so I decided, well, I'm just going to go to the Kojik Khanate, get a couple of units here. Now, as you can see, they are all about cavalry, of course. They are so about cavalry, it's not even funny. They have so many choices, so many different weapon types, and so many different horses as well. This is the highest level unit that you will be able to acquire. They, of course, have, whoa, an incredible bow. Not a very high speed rating, but the damage, I'm sure, makes up for that. And then, of course, we have polearms and a two-handed axe as well. A very nice horse as... Oh my goodness! 390 HP on that, 78 charge as well. So, yes, you can tell these guys are all about the cavalry and all about the archery. So, yeah, I am not sure whether I will be playing as them, but who knows, who knows. And then we have the Vaegirs, of course. They have the standard Cataphract units right there. And Imperial Sentinels, these are their best archers. And I would actually say that they are probably going to be the best archers in the game, because I don't know why, but I leveled up some Swadian archer units, and I think that's probably going to be a mistake. So who knows, we'll see how they do. And then, of course, I was looking at the Saranids to begin with, and we have these Hashinshin units, which are rather curious. They are assassins, as you can no doubt tell, but I'm really worried about them because they have no shields. So I think if you want a challenge, playing as Saranids and using their infantry is probably the way to go, but if you don't want to do that, and then you want to use your cavalry units a little bit more, then that would be fine as well. I do believe they are a little bit better in the cavalry section. And then you have this, which is their throwing... Whoa, okay. Yes, throwing proficiency unit, which I would say is probably the best bet if you are going to play as the Saranids. But usually the Saranids are quite balanced in many ways, because they have reasonable infantry. I wouldn't say that they have excellent infantry in terms of the Hashishin, but with the Immortals, they are very, very good. And then we, of course, have the Kapukalu. Yes, Kapukalu, okay. And then, of course, we have the Elephant Riders as well, which are riding these Serenian war elephants, as you can probably tell. They are mighty difficult to take out. 1,200 hit points. I'm actually hopeful that we'll be able to take on a Saranid vassal in this particular episode, and then we'll be able to see the elephant in action. So, without further ado, we are now going to be returning to the world and taking on the Zealous Crusaders. Yes, I do apologize for that very long-winded discussion about the units there, but I felt like in the last episode I really ignored some of the better points that this mod has to offer, and I explored it a little bit off-screen so as to hopefully garner a little bit of knowledge and not make it so hard on myself, that is for sure. But now we will be assaulting this fellow and hopefully luring him over to us, and indeed over to death. So, let's head in. We have a reasonable pathfinding skill, as you could no doubt tell when we were on the party screen, and aha, it appears these guys are holy warriors. Well, let's hope they are not affiliated with Veteran at all. Yes, okay. Repent your sins and join us, or meet God's wrath, he states. And we have 114 units. Do bear in mind that most of those units, actually, a majority of those units, are actually very low level, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. And we are against 98, of course. Okay, so welcome. Welcome to a new dawn. We are going to be... Wow, that Twilight Night looks cool. We are going to be observing and seeing how well our units are doing here. I'm a little bit worried, actually. Wait a minute. Okay, let's just see. How are they going to approach us? I think they're probably going to come over that hill there. So let's get our archers over there. Let's get our infantry a little bit in front. And then how many cavalry units do we actually have? 28! Wow, that's actually a very reasonable amount. Unfortunately, some of those do appear to be Kurdic Khanate units, and they are very low level, as I say that. As you can see, yes. Tribesmen, everyone. Very low level. So, no doubt many of them are going to be dying quite fast. However, as you can see, this actually gives us a good view of the different weapons and armor that they are able to acquire. Well, not necessarily armor this time around, but as you can see, they have bows, they have spears, they have axes, and they even have two-handed axes as well, which is rather cool. So, yeah, let's just see how well our archers do before we actually charge in here. And, wow, actually not too well, I have to admit. Okay. Well, actually, no, it's okay. Our snipers are doing a reasonable job, and I'm hopeful that I will not be destroyed by their lances. Although we are actually suffering a little bit at the hands of these guys. As you can no doubt tell, they have some very, very effective lances, that's for sure. And, whoa, 14 damage. Did you see that? 14 damage with a 21% damage bonus. Well, that's rather impressive, to say the least. Now, I would like to actually deal some damage to some people, so... I really wish they actually don't have all cavalry units, because these guys are way too difficult for me to kill. Or at least, these guys are very easily able to keep out of our range, which is definitely not something I am too happy about. Maybe I could actually kill this guy? Nope, 7 damage though. Now, their infantry are actually trailing behind so considerably that this is going to be quite the bloodbath for their cavalry, that's for sure, but... Oh, that was unlucky. I am getting used to this mace, do bear that in mind. I was using a crossbow for the most part in our other battles, but yes, that was just a test to see whether our units would actually hold up against some opposition, shall we say. And there we go. We actually took out a Crusader. Very nice indeed. 54 damage, not bad, against one of their higher tier units. That's not all bad, is it? No, I hope not. So, without further ado, I do believe most of their other units are low tier, so infantry will charge in, and we will reposition our archers as well. So let's just make sure that our horse gets in on the action. 83 charge damage it is able to accomplish, and let's try to harass some of their archers as well. Now do bear in mind this is a Morning Star, so it has as much piercing damage as is possible, or at least as is possible for me to acquire, and for some reason I am getting a minus 55% speed bonus for most of the time here, but thankfully enough I have now started to get the hang of using our horse here, because as I said before, I was actually not using this horse previously when I was attempting some test battles, and instead I was trying out a crossbow, a very nice and damaging crossbow at that. Now do see what I mean. In the last episode I stated that if a unit is wearing very, very heavy armor, as you can no doubt see here, we have some of these Axe Masters and Centurions, and they're moving very slowly indeed. Now if I get off my horse, I think you'll see what I mean. Yes, look at this. Look at that. That is so slow. That is really very, very slow. And I'm not even wearing heavy armor. Well, I'm wearing pretty heavy armor, but I'm not wearing as heavy armor as, say, one of these Centurions. As you can see here, they're actually moving slower than I am. Look at that. Wow. That is pretty impressive, to say the least. So, as you can see, we have one enemy remaining, and hopefully we'll be able to assault and indeed try to harass some of the opponent's vassals. And you say, which opponent? Well, we do not have an opponent at the moment. So we will see in just a moment. Now, what I would like to do is take all of these units here, because who knows, they might level up into something rather splendid. You never know, maybe they would. And we'll obviously... No, I don't think we will be taking any prisoners. As you can no doubt tell by our money situation at the moment, we are actually okay in that department. I just wanted to make sure that for the special feature that we were absolutely fine and we had no problems whatsoever with money, because that is quite irritating, I have to admit. So there we have it. Very nice indeed. Very nice battle. And let's see, we do have a couple of people that have leveled up here. I was actually going to see what kind of levels we could gain in a normal setting. That's why I decided to get some new volunteers in for the beginning of this episode. So, I think what we're going to do is we're not going to make this episode too long, because I don't want to keep you too much with my inane ramblings. Unless you like that, of course. And in that case, you can stay. Oh, yes. So, yes, let's head on to Cauldron Keep, because I do believe that is a new fief, and I would love to be able to test it out to see if there are any unique siege mechanics. And if there aren't, then so be it. That is fine. I'm not going to be disappointed if there aren't, but I am rather curious to see how it turns out. Now, as you can see here, they actually have a pretty reasonable amount of defenders. And the greatest thing about having a troop upgrade tree is that you are able to see what kind of defense you are up against. So let's just take a look at the upgrade tree of the Kingdom of Swadia. And as you can see here, they have demi-lancers, which are mid-tier, mid to high tier, I would say. Look at them. They're actually pretty good. They have 76 HP. Oh my goodness. Yes, 76 HP. They have some defenders. They don't have any great swords. They have some shock troopers, but not too many. And then they have some yeomen of the guards. And I don't think they have anything past that. So they have mid-tier units for the most part, which is great for us. A very nice thing to know. And we are going to be heading in and causing some problems. Besiege the castle. Oh yes, and yeah, I did not mention, but I have 14 in engineering, so yes, we actually constructed those ladders instantly. Yes, I thought I would make it a little easier. Okay, so for this one, what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be using Custom Commander. Now, unfortunately, I don't appear to be able to control some of the regular units. I actually thought that you could, which is a little strange here. Now, as you can see here, you can actually see my stats right here, so this is as good a time as any to show you what I would actually love to do with a regular character, but it never quite works out, because usually my mind moves quite organically, and it's quite difficult to fully realize the scope of what I require. And of course, getting to level 60 is almost impossible in real gameplay. I do believe you can get, well, I got to level 40 with Bruce in Gekukujo, but that is pretty much it. So, yeah, I don't believe I actually got further than that. Maybe 42 with the original Barney. I do believe that might have been our level. Who knows? But there it is. We will not be able to change Commander, unfortunately enough. I was hoping that I could play as a Twilight Knight, but we will see how it goes. Actually, wait a second. I'd like to take a look at the mod options really fast, because as you can see here, we actually have some very, very cool new options, such as pause during fast travel for actual threats. So, while fast traveling, the game will automatically pause when your party detects a hostile party. Unticked as a native, the game will not pause. So that is very nice in case you are a little careless like I am. And of course then we have the time of day, we have some battle size options here, reinforcements. Charge all, I do believe, is what we want to see. Formations AI is very nice. And we also need to reassign these guys to infantry, I do believe. Keep allies in the basic 3 divisions? Unticked as a native, any allied troops under your command will be reassigned to the same divisions. Ah, wow, that's pretty impressive. Okay, well, I will not do that just yet. Skirmish mode, don't really need that for now. Spear bracing as well. Should I? Allows the AI teams to use volley fire. No, no, we don't want them to be too overpowered in this particular siege, who knows. But yes, I think we'll be fine for that. Skill penalty from encumbrance we have, so that means, of course, that we are going to be moving a lot slower here. due to our heavy armor. And we, of course, have horse speed scaling as well. And then we have the diplomacy options here, too. And that requires, of course, a little bit of tweaking if you so desire. Lords returning from exile, for example. If you don't want that to happen, then you can disable that. Diplomacy AI changes. The higher the setting, the more difficult for the player. I placed this on high. No, I didn't. It was on default. It's defaulted on high. So, yes, you can imagine that it is very, very tricky for you to analyze the economy a little bit, I suppose you could say. And here we have the enhanced tournament system as well, tournament quests, medium reaction. Oh, wow. Will adjust how much is changed by you attending a tournament or failing to attend. There is a negative relation penalty for failing to attend tournaments you are invited to on the high reaction setting. So we're on medium at the moment, that's okay. Now what is this? Select any of the presentations on this menu and you'll immediately jump to that panel for configuring up tournament settings. Wow, that's pretty cool. And then, of course, we have cheats here. Enable bandit heroes? When checked, bandit heroes will randomly spawn on the map, gathering other bandits of the same type to them to form a larger party. That is impressive. Okay, we'll disable the companion complaints, because really I don't want that. That is for sure. Now, I think that is good. Yeah. I think that's very nice. I'm actually going to improve the probability of rain and snow because I think it makes it quite fun to fight in the rain and or snow, and that will be that. Now, we do have other taken actions here. We can re-dye our map if we so desire. We can export, change our party's name, and of course we can read a book. So this is usually how you would change the color of a particular faction. Now I'm just going to do this just to demonstrate because quite a few of you in my A Clash of Kings series asked in the comments how I was able to change my own kingdom's colors. Well, this is it. You just go to this menu here, you select your own faction, player supporters for example, and then you choose the pinkest color you can. And then you click the randomize button a little bit. There we are. Purple. Why not? So yeah, there you go. That is the player supporters. And yeah, I don't think we have any at the moment, but you know the idea. And so without further ado, let us head in to one of probably the hardest sieges we are ever going to fight. And we'll probably not even be able to accomplish this. Now do bear in mind that castles have a lot less food, as far as I am aware, in their larders, I suppose you could say, and in general. So you could, if you wanted to, starve them out. You could basically just wait outside, and if you wait 14 days or as long as you deem it necessary, then you can basically just ask for surrender. So if you wanted to, without any combat whatsoever, you could do that. That is actually a very good option, to say the least. I'm not entirely sure how many foodstuffs the towns have, so don't quote me on saying that it's very easy to take things in this game, because I'm pretty sure it isn't. I'm pretty sure that the king or leader of the faction would have some things to say about it, that is for sure. So yes, also bear in mind that the developers of this mod have increased the size of the battlefields. So if you can imagine an even larger fight, because of the limited space in native and various other mods, then don't worry anymore, that is for sure. Yes, it is going to be very, very nice indeed to see on a field battle with a very large vassal. So hopefully I'll be able to find one of those as time goes on. I'm actually going to tell our guys to stay back here a little bit because, believe it or not, I wouldn't mind actually getting into the action a bit here. Yes, come on. It's not too hard, is it? Oh yeah, it's very hard apparently. No, no, no. Oh my. Okay, let's do it. Okay, infantry charge in, and they do still have the ability to deal quite a lot of damage to me, so I do need to be a little cautious. Now, maybe I shouldn't have gotten this Morningstar. It is a little bit slow for my liking, and it doesn't do that much damage. Well, it does 42 piercing damage, so I was hoping that that would actually be enough for the most part, but it appears maybe not. As you can see here, I'm actually doing a lot of damage, or at least I'm attempting to do a lot of damage. There we are, 71. That's a lot better. Oh yeah, come on, I'm trying to lure you over here, so our archers have you to destroy. Exactly what we want to see right there. Now we have a couple of our infantry units right in here. Look at their shields! They are littered with arrows! Oh my goodness. Wow, okay, come on, let's take out some of these guys if we can. Oh my goodness. Okay, our arbalestiers, our retinue longbowmen are actually doing a very good job. And believe it or not, those retinue longbowmen are actually the highest tier archers for the Swadian faction. So, yeah, I was actually quite worried about taking them because I thought to myself, why would I want these instead of Vaegier archers? But they do appear to be doing a rather considerable amount of damage. So, in actual fact, I do believe every single faction has a good point and not many weak points at all. So, this could end up being probably one of the longest series I could make if I do intend to make a full series. I have not read all of your comments just yet. I read about 10 of them, and there are at least 90 of them, I do believe. So, yes, I do believe that many of you are in full support of a full series on this, but I'm not too sure just yet. I would like to finish one of the other series, perhaps. Maybe put one on postponement. Not too sure about that. Leave your comments just below the video if you feel as though one of the other series could use postponing for now, and maybe we'll resume one of those in the future at some point. Now, I would like to be able to use our throwing weapon, so let's do it. Oh yeah, 54 damage. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, now do bear in mind as well that if you have read the description of A New Dawn on one of the download links that I gave you in the description, then you'll also know that the player character and various other characters in the game have increased HP. So that is exactly the reason why I'm still alive, because 75 HP that you saw earlier because of my Iron Flesh and because of the strength requirements as well, that is actually not the correct amount. I actually have a lot more than that. I do believe we have at least over 100 in our HP values. So, yeah, that actually makes for a much more enjoyable experience, at least where I am concerned. Now, we're going to crowd surf. Oh yeah, there we go. A successful crowd surf, a successful siege. Exactly what we want to see right there. So, yes, oh my goodness, and we're actually getting a better helmet than what I have. Well, there we have it. Look at that. What luck. Great luck right there. And we have a nice balanced archer's sword. I'm not going to be using that, as you can see. Oh, no, it actually doesn't do 42 damage. It does 36. I'm a liar. Oh, my goodness. My apologies. It's very difficult to concentrate at the moment, but I won't tell you why, because it's a bit of a long story, that's for sure. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to go for? Not much else. Sire, we have taken Colden Keep. Who do you wish to give it to? I want to have it for myself, of course. Byron Beartilde of the player faction has taken ownership of those two fiefs right there, and we're going to be leaving it. Appoint a prominent citizen from the area, thank you. And look at that, it actually gives you a suggestion. A barony. Interesting. But we are going to go for something a little more sedate, I do believe. And let's see. I was actually thinking of something like the Subscribers Republic of Reformia, or something like that. Well, maybe I should just go for something classic. I can actually change this at any time, I do believe. So let's just go for Kingdom of Reformia. Wait a minute. I believe I have to do it this way. Kingdom of Reformia? Yeah, why not? That is a very old school reference right there, so thumbs up if you know what that is from. Excellent. So, yes, let's just see what the domestic policies are at the moment. High centralization reduces tax inefficiency for the king. Okay, very centralized. Oh yes, I'm an evil king this time around. High aristocracy will improve relations. Yes, let's do it. Serfdom. High serfdom reduces tax inefficiency for the king. Yes. Let's do mostly serfs. Yes, there we are. High troop quality, but it decreases army size. Let's make them very high quality. Why not? We have a rather small army as it is. And mercantilism. Maximize exports. Okay, why not? Let's do quite. My goodness, why do we all go to the right here? Is that a very good idea to go all to the right? I don't think so somehow. Oh my goodness, I'm a little bit in trouble here, I think. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to be ending this episode off here. There might be a third one, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I think I have probably shown as much as I can at this point in the game. There are many more things to accomplish in this, such as participating in tournaments, arenas, freelancing, of course, for a lord, and becoming a vassal, becoming your own king and everything. So wait a minute, let's just go in here and take a look at what you can actually do in the management screen. Now, this is the similar system from Clash of Kings, so you can, of course, recruit as many units as you want to, and then we could build a steel forge as well. That would take... Wow. Okay. Yes. That is exactly what I mean. It takes 484 days. Is that right? Well, whatever the case, we have 14 engineering and it will still take 484 days, so I have no clue. But yeah, this will take 175 days, barracks, and then we have a shooting range. What that does is it increases our archers' reload speed and accuracy. It appears so. That's pretty nice. And then we have a training yard, which, what does that do? Ah! Helps to train better troops. So yes, if you are wanting to do that, of course, I do believe this is probably going to be the one that everyone will be doing at every single one of their fiefs, if they can, because look at it, 49 days only, and it just improves everything so dramatically. So there we have it. I will be ending this off here, and there might be a future series of this. I am actually quite enjoying it, because as you can see here, we just have some mountain bandits with a huge amount of prisoners. We could run in there, take those prisoners, put them in the garrison. Who knows? The possibilities are limitless where this mod is concerned, I do believe. And also, just send me a private message or leave me a comment whether you want us to start from scratch. That is level 1, all the way back there, where we were defeated many times by the bandit lair itself, or whether you want to continue with this save file. Just let me know what you desire. And so, I thank you for watching, and for your support, and I will see you next time.